That's it, baby. The Sugar Show stays undefeated. Nate walks out on face-to-face interview. Oh, who was that?
Hawani and Jake and Nate were sitting there, and
recently, like yesterday.
Yeah, it was super awkward. Jake was just like, Ariel asked a question, and Jake was kind of like complimenting Diaz's career and like saying how he's done this and this and this, and Diaz just looked so fucking uncomfortable, and he just finally like got up and walked out. And it was super awkward. I don't know what's going on.
Who knows?
He literally said he's like, I'll be right back.
Who knows? Maybe that dude has some anxiety and he just doesn't like necessarily being in that spotlight. We all think of him as funny on the mic and does shit, but I think maybe he's just like over that. He's anti-promoting this fight, which is in a way promoting the fight. We're talking about him walking out on an interview, to whereas if they did the interview whole and might not even be talking about it. So maybe he's a fucking genius. Maybe he's just being himself, which maybe genius is a little overstatement, but. Jake was asked if he had brought in any sparring partners to mimic Nate. He mentioned that Masvidal booked him up with someone who has a very similar style to Nate. There's definitely people that have that style. I mean, Nate is kind of fucking slowish, good cardio. The thing about Nate is it's not like he has good head movement. He can take a shot. But with those boxing gloves, it's different, dude. You have a cast as a wrap. And then those boxing gloves aren't very big. I think they'll probably wear 10-ounce gloves, maybe 8. Like, that's not very big at all.
And so you're saying the hand wrap itself is a little bit thicker, or what?
Yeah, you can wrap your hand like a fucking cast, basically. And it's a different wrap than the UFC. So for Nate to take some of those right hands that Jake throws is going to be an issue. Because Nate, the thing is, if he can take them and gas, I mean, Tommy looked like he was very prepared for Jake's right hand. Jake jab high, jab low, boom, overhand right. Tommy was like kind of moving with it out of the way. I don't think Nate's going to really move and get out of the way. I think he kind of plans on eating him and coming forward. That's all just speculation. I'm just talking on my ass, but
you do that well. So prediction, let's hear it. Let's hear a little bit of.
That's this weekend.
It's this weekend with another big UFC fight. So.
God, dude, Nate is a gangster, a legend in the UFC, and I'd hate to see him go get knocked out. But Jake, I would love to see Jake keep going. I saw Jake's Netflix thing, or was out. I didn't see it yet, but I saw it was on there yesterday. I like Jake. I like Nate. It's very hard, but I think Jake could put his lights out. I really do. I think he's just fucking. You've seen him. He's looking in shape. He's coming off a loss. He's hungry. What the? No, you're good. There, you're good. Jake says he did a 6-week camp for Tommy and was sick for 4 weeks, and also says he's never rewatched the fight because it would hurt him more than help him. Interesting, but I think Jake could do it. I think he could do it. What do you think?
I think so too. I just cannot picture Diaz.
It's 10 rounds.
That's true. I don't see Diaz finishing him. I don't know if he has the power to finish Jake right now with boxing. Yeah. So that being said, I think it either goes decision or I think Jake could. How are the boxing gloves going to be with with Diaz's scars and stuff? Do they open up? You see much cut?
I mean with that kind of shit probably open up, but I mean Nate doesn't need necessarily power to finish Jake. A lot of boxing, like you can get TKO stoppages when they're up against the ring and they're covering up and he's just hitting him. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Nate's gonna have a little pop. He's a little bigger. He's definitely gonna have some pop, so it's not an easy fight for either guys. I really don't know. I mean, if I had to guess, Jake could finish him.
I'm curious.
But if he eats some good shots and Jake gasses out trying to knock him out, Nate could definitely win in the later rounds. If it's an early stoppage, I think Jake gets it done. If it's later in the fight, I mean, Jake did show his heart against Anderson Silva. I sat there and watched that ringside, and I was like, motherfucker was gassed, tired, and it's still moving around, didn't give up, didn't break. So he's definitely got the heart. Obviously, Nate's got fucking dog in him, so it's going to be an interesting fight.
Jake's a minus 400 favorite, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
At least on this one book, but...
Bobby Green claims Jake Paul will be in trouble if Nate Diaz's fight goes past round 1. I don't know about round 1. I mean, maybe round 7, 8, 9, 10. That's assuming Nate's the Nate that we know, or that we like Nate versus Leon, where and then he cracks him in the end of the 5th, and like he still has that gas. It depends how hard he's been training. It really comes down to who's put in more work the last 8 weeks. I think. whose heart's in shape. That's a huge thing that people don't think about. Whose heart rate can be bumping at 185, 190 and still kind of push. So.
What's up, Sugar Squad? If you like this video, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and click down below to check out the full episode and subscribe to be a part of the journey.